Thank you for joining me, a journey back to my heart. Today I'll be talking about the double bind that I'm in my attachment, and how SE talks about immobilization. And I just want to speak to this because I think a lot of times there's a lot of pathology around come close, go away, I love you, I hate you. We tend as clinicians and also as clinicians to pathologize this, and I'm deeply committed to my process, and I've been really working with my attachment and this young piece of me, this ego state that was very wounded, that really wanted love and would get these droplets of love, and also was very angry, which creates the double bind of like, I really want you, but I can't get too close because I'm angry, and it might not stay, it might not be there, it might not be there when I need it. And how that kind of manifested for years for me unconsciously, and now in a very conscious way, I'm unpacking it and exploring ways to loosen its grip. And in my therapy session recently, we did this deep chunk of work where there were no words, and my therapist sat next to me, and this whole thing of like me even want my therapist to like sit next to me and be close, and then like actually I don't want him close to me, but like if I knew I couldn't have him close, then I wanted him close, and in a much less triggered way, right? So with intimacy, it becomes much more intense, and how my nervous system got to experience this new experience in immobilization. So here is like the fight. Go away, I'm angry. That like is incomplete, because if I actually like pushed hard enough when I was little, that could mean death, right? Like that to our psyche, not literally. Like I didn't think literally if I got angry I would die, but to maintain the connection in my family system, that was incomplete. And then there was this other thing that that is coming up where it's like, but I actually just want to be close, but I can't be close because that's not safe and always not available. So that's incomplete. And so it's like, my therapist used this beautiful analogy of like, there's the gas and the brake, and the gas and the brake are going at the same time, and it's exhausting. It's exhausting. And this is emerging in my intimacy daily, with like a gentleman that I have decided to date and then kind of pushed away. And of course it's not just my stuff, right? Like there's an emerging thing that happens, but then I play out my stuff. And how I finally got to this core younger place in me that has been doing this thing my whole life, except now it's more conscious. And how that double bind of like really wanting to like bring somebody so close to me, but that means I'm afraid, and that means I have anger, and that means I can't trust, and so I push, and there's something about that that kind of goes back to, and I want to come back and do another YouTube about my experience with my recent breath work with my birthing process. I was a forceps baby, so my whole entire first entry into this world was needing to be saved, being saved, but it being like completely painful. I came out with like a little cone head, and so my relationship to being a human, my first human experience. And I would even kind of wonder like what actually that looked like even in utero. And so we're working with this double bind of mine, or this immobilization of wanting to be close but also pushing away, and how that's perfectly okay, and it makes complete sense for what I went through, and how brilliant my system was to be able to let people in close enough to allow me to receive love and have this like glimmer of hope that I can always find in almost everything, and also protect myself because I might not always have it. And how that younger me who had to develop this coping mechanism is brilliant and perfect, and how I'm not trying to actually change that. Like, I think this journey back to my heart is really allowing me to see the sun, that I'm not actually trying to change any of me or fix any of me. I am trying to be the healthiest version of me and embrace these parts of me, like that thing that I did I think a few YouTubes ago where it's like, I love you, like this isn't part of me. And in relationship I can hold space for both, that sometimes I'm going to want to be close and sometimes I'm not, but that doesn't mean that I have to choose either or. It's not that close knit, it doesn't have to be black and white. And I think that as I allow space in my journey for it all to be naturally beautiful and perfect, I can feel myself settling. Just saying that, like, just settles my system. That there's space for me, and as I like complete the incomplete response of anger, or complete the incomplete response of wanting that true deep connection and intimacy, that this thing may or may not loosen up, that I can see it in action and I can have more space for it, that I can kind of play around with it. It's not like I have to make a choice and choose be close or be far, which is a tendency I want to do. And I'm just like really exploring this in a deep way, and making sure like I name, as I have this journey back to my heart, that sometimes pathology, and I understand that we need the DSM, like there's a whole social construct around this, and there's a lens in which we can see someone through, which may or may not be helpful at times. As a clinician, I experienced both. But holding space for the whole being, and not like fundamentally saying that there's like a deficit or a problem or a disorder, I think holds space for this feeling of wholeness and just perfect as you are. And that in itself is magically healing. So, because I feel some kind of way about that, and I'm a therapist myself, and I'm going through my process of therapy and continuing to grow, and having that reflected and mirrored to me by my therapist just gave me so much more room to be me, and it just is like such a beautiful thing. So I am really grateful for this experience in life, and although it's super difficult and emotional at times, I am feeling really strong and grounded and rooted. And I thank you for joining me in this journey, all my fellow consciousness unicorns, that I am so lucky to have this place to do these deep explorations. And I thank you. And I hope you continue to explore with me, and from my heart to yours. Mwah. Have a good day.